Hi, welcome to the fifth class of chemistry, and there will be one or two more classes of the same chapter properties of matter. So let's go into the fifth class of chemistry. Anyway, in the last class we studied the different methods of separation, which is filtration, evaporation, winnowing, and also the magnetic separation. So in this class, we are going to discuss about some more methods of separation. So the first one is distillation. When one component of a mixture is volatile and the others do not vaporize under the same condition, they can be separated by this method. So there will be some conditions to use this method, method distillation, to separate two liquids. In before methods of separation, the not only liquids, also solids can be separated, but in this method, the distillation, some liquids are going to separate. So there are some conditions necessary to use the method distillation to separate two liquid that mixes together. There must be a substantial difference between the boiling points of the two component liquids. You know that the boiling point, for example, the water. In the water, the boiling point of the water is 100 degrees Celsius, in which a mixture boils. That is the boiling point of that mixture. So, if there is a big difference in two liquids, so this method is used when two liquids has a big difference between their boiling points. So this method can be used, and also they should not decompose on heating. Well, let's do an example. Let's see an example for that. In this, here you can see the picture of distillation. In this method, salt solution is taken in the round bottomed flask. Here, this is the salt solution. Here it is labeled. You can see that. And when the flask is heated, something would happen. Now in this method, salt water will be separated as salt and water. So the flask with salt solution is heated using a candle. Now what component will be evaporated? You just think, when a salt water is there, what component will be evaporated? Sure, it would be water. So the water is evaporated, and now the salt is left in the flask, in this flask. And now, which substance will remain in the flask? Some substance would remain in the flask, and what will be the reason for that? We told about that. The salt will remain in the flask and the water get evaporated. And because the salt remains in the flask, salt is a non-volatile in nature and it doesn't decompose on heating. Now, the water vapor, evaporated water vapor passes through the condenser. So this is the condenser. So from here the water get evaporated and comes through this. Here when it reaches condenser, water vapor becomes the liquid and water drops will be formed, and the water drops will come through this and will be stored in this flask, and we get pure water in this flask and salt in this flask after the experiment. Now let's see, in this activity, the boiling point of water is 100 and the salt has no boiling point. We just want to separate these two salt and water. For example, if we take this same experiment, in the seaside, the sea water is stored and it gets evaporated, and the water vapor goes to the atmosphere and the salt is left there. Same method if we want to do, or if we want to do for some water, if we want to separate them, that method distillation can be used. Anyway, let's see a video of this distillation. Anyway, you saw the video. Let's see the fractional distillation. We saw distillation. Next is fractional distillation. In before experiment, the boiling point of two. I told you that the boiling point of two substance will have a big difference. But on the other side, if these two liquids has a small difference of boiling points between them, what will be the method? Sure, it is the method fractional distillation. If the boiling points of components has very small difference, I told you that the fractional distillation, the method of separation, the fractional distillation can be used to separate the components. Anyway, let's see with an example. Here you can see the fractional distillation, the experiment of fractional distillation. Let's see the video after this discussion. So here the same as the distillation, but the component has a very small difference between them. Here we took for example, the method used to separate methanol and ethanol from a mixture of them. Here the boiling point of the methanol is 65 degrees Celsius and the ethanol is 78 degrees Celsius. Very small difference of 13 degrees Celsius. So this can be separated through this experiment or this method of separation. Here the mixture of methanol and ethanol is here, and the fractionating column, and the water goes through this pipe and condenses, and when it reaches here, the methanol will be here and the ethanol will be here. Because the ethanol has the high boiling point while comparing to the methanol, it stays here, and the methanol which has low boiling point compared to ethanol, it will be here. So let's see the video of it. You saw the video of fractional distillation and also the distillation. Now here is another method of separation, which is separation using separating funnel. Let's see that. Now here you can see the separating funnel. This is the separating funnel. You can draw this when I show the notes. Please pause the video at that time, and you can draw this picture into your notebook so that the understanding of this method would be easy for you. So in this, for example, here taken the kerosene and the water. Here fill 1/4 of a bottle with kerosene and other pour equal amount of water into it. And now let's shake it well so the water and kerosene get dissolved. But after some time, what would happen? You just think that what would be happen. Now the kerosene would exist at the top as a layer and the water is at the lower part as another layer as shown in this picture. Now what would be the reason of these two liquids staying further apart? Because the density of kerosene is low, it stays at the top and the density of water is high, stays at the lower part of this separating funnel. And now let's do here, let's see, we want to separate them. Now we shaken it well. These two liquids are in as a top layer and as a lower layer. Now we got two layers and they got separated, but we want to get them two lonely. So what would be the method? Can you suggest anything? So it would be easy by opening the tap. The tap is here. This is the tap. By opening it, the water would flow into this jar, and after the water finishes, let's close that. So the water would be in this jar and the kerosene would be in this jar. So we can easily separate them. If anything we want to separate them in our day-to-day life, we can use this this method of separation which uses the separating funnel. So this method is easy for separating the kerosene and the water or substances like that with a different density. Anyway, in this class we understood about three methods of separation, which is distillation and fractional distillation. Distillation is used for separating the component of mixture with a big difference in their boiling point, and the next one, the fractional distillation, is used to separate a mixture of a low boiling point. And next method, the separating funnel, which uses for separating the mixtures with a different density. So we studied these three separating methods in this class. Now let's go into the note. In this video we saw the video of the experimental video of distillation, fractional distillation, and also the separating funnel, separation using the separating funnel. Now let's go into the note. And also while writing the note, I given the picture of the experiment as a in the side of the slide, so you can draw it in your notebook so that you can easily understand by drawing it and the parts of the distillation equipment, and you can draw it in your notes. And now let's go into the note and end our video here. So please like the video and share the video to your friends, and also subscribe the channel if you didn't do it yet. Anyway, let's go into the notes.